I am a big fan of value for money. Right from when I was a kid, I was always looking for bargain bin purchases with my hard-earned birthday money. Yeah, it was hard work surviving a whole 365 days, and don't get me started on leap years. Those were close calls. So I am a fan when companies decide to double up, put more than one game on a cartridge. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes 3, sometimes even more, but today I'm taking a look at those delightful doubles. 2 games in 1. Bear in mind, these are all physical releases because that's what I'm all about, and this is not a definitive list, just a nice, healthy selection. And very soon in the future, I'll be doing a terrific triple pack as well, so stay tuned for that, subscribe not to miss it. Let's get into it. Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 is quite a recent delightful double pack of 2 legendary GameCube JRPGs from the same developers as the Xenoblade series. I haven't personally played them as of yet. I am a bit daunted by the card mechanics, but I've been told I'm a stubborn idiot, so I should play them eventually. This was released physically in Europe and Asia with English, so North Americans, you're going to want to import these for your collection. Coma Double Cut is a horror double pack. The first game was released physically in the West, the second game was not, but Asia and Japan got both games together on one convenient horror-filled cartridge, although for the record I think the second game is good. I was not a fan of the first game. No More Heroes 1 and 2 were released physically individually in North America by Limited Run Games, but in Asia they got a very convenient double pack of both games together on one cartridge with English. Bosh! And it was much cheaper overall than buying them individually. While these games may not have aged as gracefully as some may have hoped, they are still zany enough and ambitious enough to make me think of the good old days of gaming. The Ori Collection includes both Ori games on one cartridge. These were released physically individually, but I think we can all agree in order to save shelf space alone and be slightly easy on the wallet, this is a great way to get 2 of the best Metroidvania style games of all time. Beautiful in every aspect, this is going to be worth every penny if you decide to pick it up. And by the way, if you do want to purchase any video games, including these in this list, then you can also massively support us at the same time, either via our Video Games Plus affiliates, who are a fantastic website with good prices in favorable Canadian dollars and affordable shipping, even free shipping over 80 Canadian bucks, or you can get the imports from this list via Play Asia. Click our links below and get 5% off with our Play Asia discount code SWTV23. That's going to run out at the end of this year, so make the most of it while you can and subscribe to, find out what the new code's going to be next year. Thank you kindly for your support. Rolling Sky Collection is one of the most inessential imports of all time. Not that these games aren't fun, it's just not maybe the most thrilling way to spend 40 bucks on 2 mobile games. These are auto runners that play a bit like Temple Run, if I had to give an example. Fun stuff, both slightly played differently, but yeah, nobody is running towards these. It only released in Southeast Asia. Now, while many people may have their issues with NIS America, and some of those concerns are warranted, there's no doubt they are milking classic games dry, and I'm here for every second of it. They've got a lot of double packs. They've got 3 Prinny Presents NIS Classics, which includes Phantom Brave, Nomad Soul, which are in Volume 1, they've got ZHP Makai Kingdom in Volume 2, and Volume 3, i.e. the best one, has La Pucelle and Rhapsody. Brilliant PS2, PS1, PSP games that are very much as awesome as they always was. In fact, most of them are much better than what Nippon Ichisoft produced today. Then there's the Marl Chronicles, which is essentially Volume 4 in all but name. This has Rhapsody 2 and 3 together in one cartridge, which are some of the most charming JRPGs that I've ever played. Gameplay wise, maybe not, but lovable story, characters, production, love it. Stranger of Sword City and Savior of Sapphire Wings is another double pack of theirs. These are 2 old school style first person dungeon crawlers that originally appeared on the Vita and no one took notice of them. I haven't played these, but I do like the style, but these particular games, they haven't pulled me in to actually give them a try as of yet. But it is my style, so maybe they'll be good. Final Fantasy VII and VIII Double Pack. Oh, this is one of the best in my opinion. Not only does it have my favorite Final Fantasy game, but it also has Triple Triad the game in it as well. That's a joke, I love FF8 too. But yeah, this amazing double pack of classic JRPGs was only released physically in Asia and Europe. So go grab that, guys. If you live in North America, don't miss out. You need this in your collection. Taiko no Tatsujin RPG Adventure Double Pack is 2 rhythmic RPG experiences in one. You may be familiar with the standard lovable rhythm gameplay, but this is unique in the fact that they made RPGs out of it. You walk around the environments, you talk to people, you get into random encounter battles and then fight, but by playing to the music. This was a code in a box in Europe, but Japan got a great physical version which plays in English. Final Fantasy X and X Part 2, one of the best double packs in my opinion. Not only does it have my second favorite Final Fantasy game, but it also has Charlie's Angels FF edition. However, this is only the Japanese and Asian version since it's those which have both games on one cartridge. The Western version, as I've said like 1,000 times and beaten to death more than that horse that looked at me funny one time, the Western one needs to have a download, which is rubbish, by the Asian or Japanese versions for one of the best double packs in existence. Saint Maker is a recent Play Asia exclusive, and it's not overtly a double pack because the second game was really only mentioned in the small print. But alongside this horror visual novel, there's also a short 2-hour or so Yuri VN bundle in here too called Perfect Gold. The Enigma Machine and Alterity experience is a double pack of an upcoming import from Kosen. Now, I don't really know too much about this since it was only just announced, but as with all Kosen games, it's probably a bit too expensive for what it is. But if you want to get your pre-orders in right now, then you can. Human Resource Machine is a Japanese exclusive release, and from the box art and title you would think it's just one game. But no, this famous programming puzzle game is also bundled with its sequel, 7 Billion Humans. This does have English but only comes in a collector's edition, so it's generally not as cheap as you'd hope it would be. The Distraint Collection is a double pack of 2 side-scrolling horror games. These are surreal in their nature, and even though they are short, they certainly make an impact. This was a Play Asia exclusive release, and they may still have some copies left if you check the description. Oniken Odallus, another Play Asia exclusive double pack. Man, they love their value packs. These are from the same developer, and they go for a retro NES style in their gameplay and generally doing a great job of it. One of them is a bit like Castlevania, another is quite like Ninja Gaiden, so yeah, you get 2 slightly different experiences. Both are good. Akai Ito Aoi Shiro is a double pack of Yuri VNs. This is the first time they've been released in English, and from what I've heard they really are quite good. Strictly Limited Games did do this in Europe, and I believe they have some copies left, but it's also available in Japan, which does have English. Tristia Legacy plus Restore are 2 crafting puzzle games, at least that's what I'd call them. There is an English double physical pack in Asian regions, not Japan. Don't get that one because that one doesn't have English. These are slightly older games, but they look adorable, and they look as though they have some amazing CGs to unlock too. Skautfold Bloody Pack is a pre-order available at redartgames.com or VGP. What I like about this series is that the developer always tries to hit a different genre with each game in the series, and if I was a developer or a publisher, I'd definitely do the same. If you order from Red Art Games with the link below, you can get 10% off with the code SWATCH10. Chaos Code is another Play Asia double pack, although once again, it's barely even mentioned because the main attraction is Chaos Code, a pretty decent fighter with nice customization, but on the back of the box, there is a brief snippet of a bonus game, Mononoke Slashdown, which isn't amazing, but it's nice to have this as an addition on the cartridge. No one was expecting it, it's just a nice bonus. Pikmin 1 and 2 is one of the big examples of a double pack. Double the Pikmin fun to go alongside Pikmin 3 and 4, which did get individual releases. These are the original 2 GameCube games, and I can wholeheartedly say Pikmin 1 is absolutely ace. I've never played 2, but I'm sure I will do one day. Ghost 1.0 plus UnEpic, another Play Asia double pack. They're just so generous. Again, these are from the same developer, with Ghost 1.0 being the bigger star of the two, at least in my opinion. It's a Metroidvania-like game that's well worth playing. Citizens Unite is technically one game, but this is one game made from two separate games that have been stitched together. Yes, two separate games that had individual download releases. They have been combined in their narrative, and you can now switch between the two of them on the fly, which is great. They are RPGs that try to go for Earthbound and Mario and Luigi style battle systems. Limited Run did do this in North America, but it's also available in English in Japan. Coffee Talk Double Pack is a super recent double pack that's only released in Europe. Sadly, in North America, these were released individually. But yeah, two visual novels that have drink-making gameplay as you get to know the weary customers that you serve. Very cozy. River City Girls 1 and 2 is a brilliant double pack that released in Japan. These were released individually in North America via Limited Run Games, but Japan got them together and cheaper to boot. These are two fantastic beat-em-ups, very much like the River City games of old, with a bit of adventuring thrown into boot. And yeah, these were part of the great renaissance of the genre. These are the leaders. Get the Japanese version. The double pack is awesome. Bishoujo Battle Double Strike is a package published by Funbox Media, which you know what that means, it's a little bit saucy. This is one Mahjong game, by which I mean the not good version of Mahjong, the one you just match tiles. But hey, if you're gonna play one of these kind of games, you might as well have the one with boobs in it. And also a slightly lewd version of Kicks, which might be the greatest thing ever. This was only released physically in Europe. Otoko Cross Naked Remix is another saucy game for fans of cross-dressing dudes, effeminate men wearing saucy outfits and getting their little cocktail sausages out if you literally play your cards right, or your mahjong right. Two games in one, exclusive nude content for this physical release only in Europe, so North American cocktail sausage fans, you may want to import this one. Bullet Soul Double Pack isn't anything to do with Dark Souls finally picking up an AK-47 that we've all been demanding that it does. No, these are two arcade shooters from not too long ago actually, at least compared to like the true classics of the genre, but these were by majors of all companies who are most known for their visual novels. But this is still a great double pack and is only available in Japan with English. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is a double helping of fantastic spin-offs of the Ace Attorney franchise. Previously only available on a Japanese 3DS, this is a brilliant double pack of games that many say are equal in quality to the original Phoenix Wright series. And even though this is just a 2-in-1, they are long games. It only released physically in North America and Japan, so Europeans, you should import this. The Friends of Ringo Ishikawa and The Arrest of Stone Buddha is an import-exclusive double pack of adventure games that kind of remind me of the Kunio-kun series, just slower paced and more cinematic. These two games are really badass even if they're not everyone's cup of tea. If you want it physically, you need to get the Japanese physical version. Subnautica plus Below Zero is a double pack of survival games. Some say they are the best on the system. I've never played them before because, you know, surviving underwater is like one of my greatest fears. I'll stick with the paddling pool, thanks. Sonic Mania plus Team Sonic Racing is a cheap way to get two Sonic games in one package. One all-time great in Sonic Mania, and another racing game that somehow went backwards from the previous iteration. I don't know what went wrong there, but either way, it's not a too bad package for the value, yes? Sonic Forces plus Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz is a similar package, but not quite so similar outcome. Two supposedly rather mediocre games. I agree about Forces. I thought it was fine, just really unremarkable, and many people say Banana Blitz was not a good remake. Robotics Notes Double Pack is a visual novel double pack. Both games are in the science adventure series that Steins Gate is in, and I think most people will agree these are not the best in the series, but still certainly worth reading if you need a quality VN or two that's physical and not an otome. The same could be said for the Chaos Head / Chaos Child double pack, two fantastic VNs in the same series, and these are the Mind Fs from what I've heard. There's a bit of horror in here with the science fiction. This is all about the delusions. Air Conflicts Double Pack is a 2-in-1 for Air Conflict Secret Wars and Pacific Carriers, as you pilot through both World War I and II settings in either arcade or simulation style gameplay. Personally, I'm all about that arcade style. I don't need a button for each and everything, including flushing the onboard lavatory. Just let me break physics with arcade goodness. Another World / Flashback is a nice package of 2 classic cinematic platformers. You know the kind, slow paced, lots of animation frames, lots of trial and error. Frustrating to play maybe these days, but I find them quite compelling, and you can't go wrong with both of them bundled together. Child of Light and Valiant Hearts are 2 games made in the same engine as Rayman Origins, hence why they look bloody amazing, and it's from Ubisoft, so even though there is an indie tinge to these games, they've got some polished qualities in here too. Beautiful games, highly recommended. Commandos 2 and 3. I don't know a whole lot about this, to be fair. These are real-time strategy games, highly influential in the genre, but I heard these remasters aren't very good. In fact, some say they are worse than the original, so even though this looks like a nice double pack, you have been warned. Behind the Screen and Defoliation is a double pack of weird puzzle games. One is more like a visual novel, while one is a surreal adventure game. These came in a double pack in Japan with English, and with a price that probably wasn't as low as it should have been, hence why not many people imported this one. The Remothered double pack was also released in Japan, not an essential double pack, but maybe better for some considering the West. These were released individually. These are horror games, not particularly great, especially on the Switch. Ancora Lost Days and Dayland Pocket Planet is a double pack that only released in Europe. These are 2 games from the same developer, the same as Summer in Mara, a company that heavily relies on Kickstarters to fund their games. Well, this is 2 of those games, and they are small, cozy stuff, like kind of survival games. Not exactly the same, but they share the same vibe. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon Chronicles is a double pack of the 2 retro-style Bloodstained games, which many say are the best classic Vania games since the actual proper classic Vania games. The linear platformers, that's what I mean by the way. These were released individually by Limited Run in North America, but Japan came to the rescue with this affordable double pack. La Mulana 1 and 2 are really obtuse exploration games full of brain-busting puzzles that scare most people to death. Super old school and mostly really wonderful if you've got the stomach, the patience, and the brains for it. This was an early enough physical release from NIS America. Klonoa Cross Radical Dreamers Edition is a left field choice when it comes to double packs because you're mostly buying this for the classic PS1 RPG, the sequel to Chrono Trigger. It's excellent, of course, but just to round this package off nicely, they included a never-before re-release of a Satellaview game called Radical Dreamers, which is a great little text adventure and is a prequel of sorts to this game. Now it's officially in English. Great stuff. And this physical release only released in Asia, but it does have English and it is one of the biggest imports of all time. Cosmo Dreamer and Like Dreamer, the Double D Collection, is a really weird double pack of Toho wannabe shooters, but they went all in on the not safe for work artwork. Yes, here you have surprisingly great shooter gameplay alongside the improbable cleavage and bad art style. I guess they had to make it stand out somehow, and this is a Play Asia exclusive currently available for pre-order in a standard and collector's edition. Grandia HD Collection is an amazing double pack of 2 fantastic JRPGs, one from the PS1 and another from the Dreamcast, now in full widescreen and looking better than ever. Limited Run did do this in North America, but now it's only available brand new with the Asian release, which also has English, and I highly recommend it. Alwa's Collection contains Alwa's Legacy and its sequel Alwa's Awakening. Alwa's, why do I feel weird saying that? These are 2 retro-style platformers that are excellent at doing what they set out to do. Non-linear exploration and puzzles with a retro aesthetic that is pulled off really well. They are both good games in their own right, but together on one cartridge, it's hard to say no. Arafel and the Rise of the Third Power was a double pack released by Limited Run Games in North America. Arafel was a very commendable game made in RPG Maker, whereas Rise of the Third Power, I don't know much about that one, but it looks pretty awesome. Probably one if you're into RPGs. Illmatic Envelope Swamp plus Radergi Swag is a double pack that only released in Japan, and sadly it does not have English. But as these are two shooters, it's not something that's hugely necessary, or not something that you can't get through with, Google Translate on your phone. These are super surreal and weird, but highly enjoyable. Rush Rally Collection is a PlayAsia exclusive, one of their often forgotten ones since it's not their usual style, but here you get Rush Rally 3 and Rush Rally Origins, as though rally cars need an origin story. I suppose they were like a dock worker who got bitten by a radioactive sponge or something, I don't know, became a rally car, something like that, yeah? Clea Complete Collection is a physical release that was distributed by Limited Run Games. This includes Clea 1 and 2. These are two 2D horror adventure games with not the prettiest of art styles, but they are effective at what they set out to do. Apparently there are no cheap jump scares at all. Aplhadia Genesis 1 and 2, another one published by Limited Run. You can guess what's included. Personally, I would not bother with these unless you're into ESRB collecting, since these games will most certainly appear in better bundles in Japan with those, those Kemco collections. Heaven Dust Collection was a physical release from Super Rare Games, which contained both games in the Heaven Dust series. These are like Resident Evil games, but with an indie approach and chibi art style. Survival horror that really do try their best, although they can't quite touch the classics. Brave Dungeon, Legend of the Dark Witch Combat is a double pack that was only available physically in Japan with the now defunct publisher B-Side Games. This combined two popular 3DS eShop games into one Switch physical package, and even though it may have been more expensive than the games actually warranted, they still put it together beautifully. Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series contains two games in the Klonoa series. I actually played this a little bit with my daughter. I bought her this and Pokemon last Christmas, and yeah, she prefers Pokemon because of course she does, but as far as platforming goes, they rarely get as charming as this. Axiom Verge 1 and 2 isn't quite as delightful of a double pack as you'd think, since they really didn't add any value to this package. They just made it more expensive because it's Limited Run Games. They don't do value at all. Even if they've appeared a few times in this list, you ain't paying less. But hey, they are double packs. And that's it. As I said, this is not all the double packs in existence. This is just a big old chunk of them that caught my initial eye. But I'm sure this will keep you satisfied for a good while. I'll probably make a sequel video sometime in the future, maybe when the Switch is completely dead, so there'll be no more additions after that. And yeah, if I have missed something, please leave a comment below. Let me know so I can include it next time, as long as it fits the criteria. And if you do want to purchase any games, please consider using the links below. That massively helps support me, and I really do thank you kindly.